Hello and welcome back to Newsmin. It's the 22nd of August and right now it's time for a quick Diablo 3 news update. It's official, the highly anticipated patch 1.0.4 is now live in all regions. This latest update to our beloved game brought with it pages upon pages of patch notes that tell us all about things like the exciting new Paragon system, improvements to legendary items, difficulty changes, new auction house features and much more. Let's have a peek, shall we? First up, if you want to know about the big features, like the Paragon system, the legendary item improvements, or the difficulty changes, then you're gonna have to check my previous Newsmins covering them out, or find their respective blog posts linked below. I won't be discussing them fully in this episode. If you want the quick and dirty versions of them, the Paragon system is a progression system that adds over 100 new levels for level 60 players, legendary items were buffed and made infinitely cooler, and the game difficulty levels were smoothed out a bit, mostly for hell and above. There you have it. Now onto the notes proper. I'm just gonna highlight the slightly bigger and more interesting changes here, and if you want to see the full list, you know where to look. Just a quick warning though, the full list is like 500 pages long, so it might take you some time going through it. Anyway, in the general changes, pets with passive life regeneration have had their life regeneration greatly increased from levels 30 to 60. Magic Find will now cap at 300%, although Nephilim Valor bonuses will stack beyond this cap, and Magic Find is no longer averaged amongst all players in a multiplayer game. A new tutorial about elective mode will now appear when a player enters Nightmare, Hell, or Inferno difficulty for the first time, and honestly, I think it's really good that they added this. I've seen so many players playing all the way through till Hell or Inferno mode without even knowing that it existed. Then if you're interested in the auction house changes, of which there were quite a few, there's actually a full thread up on the official forums covering them. Highlights include that auctions can now be cancelled at any point so long as there aren't any active bids on them, and that the number of preferred stats allowed per search has been increased from 3 to 6. There were a whole bunch of changes made to bosses, and these include nerfs, buffs, and bug fixes. The most interesting of the lot is probably that boss rooms have now been standardized. So this means after a boss fight, you can actually come and go from the room as you please, either using a town portal or the room's actual entrance. Phew. With those out of the way, there are the class changes. Now these are pretty intense and you're definitely going to have to check them out for yourselves. There's a full blog post up for each of the 5 classes and you can find them all linked below. Moving along, a repair tab has been added to the blacksmith. Finally. I always wondered why Hadrig didn't have the ability to repair. Anyway, the frequency of follower dialogue has been reduced. All level 60 to 62 damage affixes have had their minimum and maximum top-end damage values increased. Two-handed melee weapons have been made more viable. And get this, the drop rate on quivers has been reduced. I always wondered about that. I really did. Destructible objects now have a chance to drop items again. The text color of gems, potions, crafting pages, and tomes dropped on the ground has been changed from white to light blue. The maximum stack size of gems has been increased from 30 to 100. The gem drop sound is now more noticeable. And lastly, Squirt the Peddler, the vendor from Caldium, has now permanently moved from the Caldium Bazaar up to the hidden camp, as she heard people liked buying health potions up there. Along with everything I just mentioned, if that somehow wasn't enough, there were monster, quest, UI, and item changes, fixes, improvements, and additions. Crazy stuff. There are also a whole bunch of extra 1.0.4 goodies linked below, such as the latest hotfixes for August the 22nd, a known issues list, a few unlisted patch notes, and more. It really is enough reading to keep you busy for a good couple of hours if you're interested. That's it for this episode. Check back here soon for more. Like the video and do all that other good stuff, and most importantly, happy letting me know what you think about 1.0.4 and all the changes and additions that came with it. Happy that.